I try to thank all of the people there, the Honorable Dean and Director, and Dr. Gopal, and all the people who made it happen. And I started to tell you that how much I missed India and I like India, and I'm thinking that I'm in my home due to the chance of the social media, that they have the advantage and disadvantage that we are searching for. Regarding to Iranians, that actually I wanted to speak a little bit about the international relations and social media and how everything changed in the world, how we are using the function of social media in different ways. But both of the professors already addressed us very nice, and I'm not going to repeat that. I just will focus in Iranian perspective. What I wanted to tell you is, so you know that Iran always has a very good, and hopefully it will remain, because it is not the decision of the governments, it's decision of the people, that they have roots in their both country, Iran and India. They are coming from the same culture and nature, and so it will remain. It always was good relationship between Iran and India, and it will remain. And I am seeing that due to the international relation on social media, people are finding each other, people are working together, people are sending message to me when they are finding that, okay, I am kind of Indian, and they are feeling comfortable to ask me how they can do the business with Iran. And all these things happening in on the social media, different platforms, that we can join the groups in the different Facebook or WhatsApp or wherever. And I know that in India, WhatsApp and Facebook are working good. And in Iran, actually, we have Telegram and Instagram, that people are working with them, because Instagram give them opportunity to speaking with the pictures. And after the corona, what made everything more visible for us is that Iranian are shifting to WhatsApp, because unfortunately Telegram is filtered here, even though that still Iranian are using the anti-filters and VPN, and they are using the Telegram, but they are feeling maybe it's more comfortable for them to make the call and everything more easier by WhatsApp. And especially because of Corona and COVID-19, they used to use it for, calling to their family members across the country or even the world. And also, the Instagram, what happened is people are doing the business there. They are doing the home business these days. And it made them the very good opportunity to find themselves and others there, how they can improve their business. And so it's becoming very important platform for Iranian these days. It is what happening inside of Iran, and still more is about the education. That actually we used to do one research when I was in India about the e-learning, distance learning between Iran and India, and how Iranian using Telegram in the purpose of education, and what about Indians in WhatsApp. But even again, the COVID changed everything in the way that Iranian nowadays forced to use WhatsApp for education. I mean, they forced to use all the world. Forced to use social media for gaining the education and staying in the class and listening to the teacher and professors. And so they are getting adopted how to use the social media. Not the only new generation that they actually was born with social media, but even the previous generations, they are among in my students. I have them, whether they are even senior than me, but they are coming they are very actually Iranian always like to gain knowledge. So even when they are 60 years old, they are coming for being as a master student. and registering for that. Then I am seeing that they are getting used to how they can make the social media uh, friend for themselves, how they can do something that they are not thinking that this device is something extra, something strange. So they are getting this skill, how to use it. So I'm thinking that the literacy skill and the morality or ethnic is coming together and updating the society to understand that yeah, there are some another aspect that they can use when they are consuming social media. But what exactly I concern more, and I'm going to finish my speak with that, is that these people, Iranians, are making the connection. They used to start it very early in the when I can remember from 17 years or 17 years ago, 18 years ago, myself had the email address and a weblog, and my own bachelor dissertation was about the Iranian blog and women in Iran, how they are using the women using the blogs here for which purpose. Because I was into the literature that time and poems. But these days I'm seeing that it is very common, very widespread, and they are in the all the generation and all the gender and all the ethnic, from the different communities in Iran, that we are the we have diversities here, not as much as of India, but it can be a small pattern of India in the different aspect. These people all right now, they already are into the concept, and it can make it easier to open the doors, you know, because Iranian already like to travel. It is enough to understand that others are exactly same as us and even better, and the society should concern it. Society should come to this conclusion that my priority wanna be knowing others, you know, and it is happening. These days, people here in Iran, they have their own Iranian festivals always. And I am welcoming you to come and visit Iran in end of March for Iranian New Year's. That is Nowruz, and you have it in India. I was there. I done the research about that. Whether in Zoroastrian people in India, whether uh, Indians itself, they are celebrating Nowruz. And in the other hand, we have Islamic festivals, because the majority of Iranian are Muslim, and beside that, they are coming to have the experience of how Christians are living here for the Christmas. What is happening? And I am thinking that knowing about each other, as Jesus are telling that we have to love our neighbors, everything is starting. And I guess Jesus can guide all of us. I am Muslim. My name is after Mary, uh, and I am thinking that this word, whether from anybody, is very beautiful. That we are going to start loving each other and using this for making the hope across the world, finding each other to help us to find ourselves. This is what I'm trying to focus on. That's why even the technology is bothering us, but still let's having this to see how we can uh, maybe later on we can impact on the people who are making the strategies, the funders, the owners, the politicians, that's changing the pattern of social media for us, for our aim. It is very big hope, and dream, but maybe it can come to the, reality. And for finishing my state, I just wanted to tell you um, that I hope sometimes when we are again gathering very nearly future, gathering together, we speak more that uh, rather social media wanna guide us, we guided social media. Thank you so much for everything and everyone here.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was actually a very much enlightening session from your end, and the way you explained about the how social media has changed our life and how social media has become a part of everyone's life, and it has changed the whole scenario of communication and whole scenario of international relations. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was actually really very informative and knowledgeable enough for all of us, and I'm sure everyone must agree with me. Now I would like to invite Mr. Deepak for the further session.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure listening to you, Dr. Waziri. And in fact, I had the privilege of visiting your beautiful country in 2015. And
Very
it was,
nice.
and in Tehran, we organized a film festival on disability. We Care Film Festival. And I feel very privileged that we were handed over your very prestigious Azadi Tower to us for 3 days, where we organized, and your superstar Shahab Hosseini was there with
Yeah.
us, with his family, and it was perhaps the first international film festival after the Shah regime that Iran had organized, that I am privileged to be uh, part of in Tehran. And a beautiful city. I was really overwhelmed by the uh, people there, the friendship, the bond of friendship that they showered on us. And uh, you are right. That time also, I could make many friends. It was not very easy to access social media platforms. You had to download VPN, and then you can access them. And of course, many youngsters, they came, they said, okay, you are using WhatsApp, you are using Facebook. No, move over to Telegram and Instagram. We are there, and that way it really helped. I moved over to the, okay, I added them also on my platform just to interact with my Iranian friends there. We keep interacting with them. And thank you, Dr. Ajay. This is, as I said earlier, Dr. Ajay, this is my second visit to your institute. It was perhaps in 2004, 5 or 6, I don't remember, when I was heading the National Bureau of Sahara Time. And I was an assistant editor when you organized a conference, if I remember it correctly. It was on the power of journalism. And, uh, and it was a physical conference. I was there, and I very much remember what I had said there. And I had said that when we talk of power, what powers do we enjoy? Journalist is basically a catalyst. How things have changed now. They've changed very fast. As Ritika said, and she quoted someone saying that, okay, it is not to, it has to be, the social media platform must impact, not impress. But let me be very clear about it. Social media is not journalism. It is for everybody. Everyone uses, including professionals. And the content there, they are not news. They may use news, but they are not news. They are not the news creators. News creation is left to the professionals that institutes like Tecnia are creating. They are preparing professionals for journalism. I was very much part of that press conference, where they said that it is an infodemic. Social media, they are spreading fake content. I won't say fake news, because news cannot be fake, because it goes through gatekeeping, process of gatekeeping. It is done by professionals, but the content, like, yeah, Dr. Ajay very rightly said, it is fake information. It is not fake news. It is fake information that it is spreading. So that apart, I will come to that. But because the topic is the impact of social media in international relations, I would like to come to that first. Yes, as Dr. Jha rightly said, about the three aspects of international relations. There are conflict, cooperation, and competition. I am also the media advisor of a body which is closely working with the United Nations. And uh, of course, we consider ourselves as a track to channel of diplomacy. And social media indeed plays a very important role here. And how it plays, I will just talk about it a little in detail. Uh, First thing, what I would like to say, when we talked about the uh, social media, we what is the difference between traditional media and social media apart from the news content that we have talked about? The second is the interaction level and the impact. As Professor Ritika already talked about impact, and it should not be to impress but to make an impact. Fine, good, but that is good enough. But does it really make an impact in face of the infodemic that it creates? So that is where I would like to come to when we are talking to. So when we talk of international relations, we usually talk about it at the diplomatic level. Diplomatically, yes, fine enough. Today I find invariably every government has its own social media platform. The foreign ministries have their social media platforms, and they use them every minute. This is why, because the response is very fast. Uh, Unlike a traditional mass media platform where you are communicating with the masses, in the social media platform, what happens? It is both. You are communicating with the masses at the same time. It is also a platform for direct communication, and both can be done simultaneously. So you are why Twitter is so popular. You can mark the person, and that person can also get immediate feedback of what is mentioned about that person or what is being said about that person, and that person can immediately retweet or reply. Everything is very instantly done, and at the same time, it is also visible to most of the people if you are making it public on Twitter. And that's why it is so popular. That's what I think, and it creates a huge impact. It is not just about impressing people. It creates a huge impact. So when we are talking of diplomatic level, Twitter is being used so frequently, and why it is being used so frequently, and so it has really caught up, is the reason that you address a person directly, you get the response instantly, faster than an email or anything, and then it is also for the public consumption. Yeah, sorry, I got some sound. Yeah, okay. So Twitter, that's why it is very important. Twitter has become such a crucial tool nowadays. And best part, when we talked of credibility, Twitter is coming right from the horse's mouth. That's why the credibility is somewhat much higher of Twitter than other platforms. Unless, yeah, Facebook is second, it stands second on that, because there also, if it is the people who are there, who are using Facebook and they matter, they have their pages, and if they are putting some posts there, that is considered to be very authentic. That is there. But that is also the plus point of this the social media platform, so far as, and we as journalists pick up news from there. So they have become great source of information. They, and we pick up news, and then we create news, and then we dish them out to the readers for public consumption, to the masses. So it is working both ways, the social media platform. So at diplomatic level, I have talked about the diplomatic level, how it is creating an impact. And but that is not the only level. Actually, then what, there is a track to this diplomacy. There also we work on that. We talk to the people. Twitter is a very powerful engine, and so is the Facebook. Uh, and We can rely on them. And if it is coming from the horse's mouth, we can rely on them. And that is what the world is doing right now. But the third and most important part, and this is the most crucial part, is the people to people relations. That is also part of international diplomacy. During our days when we were growing up, we had little exposure to the world. We Whatever knowledge we used to have it through newspaper, or when we grew up a little more, then the television came into the picture, and then through television also we could see the visuals. Today things have entirely changed. Today my daughter will have at least 10 or 15 or maybe 100 international friends. She has much bigger exposure than what we used to have as children. And her understanding of the world is much better than what we might be having when we were growing up. And this is the impact of social media. When we are talking of people to people relations, it helps us in developing relationship, understanding the world better, create more friends, and make world a better place to live. uh, Earlier, what used to happen, take the example of YouTube. Earlier, we were dependent on Bollywood movies and Hollywood movies. And if we were in India, if we wanted to learn more about the world, wanted to see the world, it was through Hollywood movies. Yeah, but now things have changed. YouTube is at your palm top, and you can see everything. Look at the impact that YouTube is having, and that is tremendous. You not only make friends, you see the world, watch the visuals. We can listen to them, we can watch the visuals, and it is all on our palm top. Our understanding of the world is so great now. We can see everything. No need to visualize anything. Everything is in real, in front of you, and whatever is happening is just before you. So this is the impact that social media is creating. And look at the leadership level also. If you look at it, you see a leader today is gauged by the followers, the number of followers that person has on social media platform. So this is the impact it is creating. If our prime minister has millions of users, millions of followers on social media, that means, yeah, he's doing very well, he's very popular among us. So this is what the impression goes from the social media platform, and that also helps. And the leadership also gets instant feedback there about the policies, about the standing that person has the leader has taken, all these things. But the only point that is very worrisome is, as everyone has pointed out, is the problem of credibility. And this credibility issue, I have visited many countries in the Gulf region also, and I have found that yes, at many places in many countries they don't allow social media platform to be used. Suppose in one country I found there was an accident, and immediately the police came and they stopped everyone from using from taking the picture, because if they take the picture, they may uh, 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 make it viral on social media platform, and that will create a bad image of that country. So this type of things also, there are countries which are taking steps like this. And this could be extreme measures. Perhaps in a democracy this won't work, but this is here where I think this our media schools, because you see, the journalists are ultimately going to be a fine ambassador of the country through their writings or through their presentation, through the news that they create, the credible news, the news that they present to the world. Unless they have a better understanding of social media. Nowadays I am running a website, and I have hired 2 people just to look after social media platforms, so that my news goes to the people. It is not only the website that will help, but it has to be through the followers who are following us on social media. That also matters a lot. And this is where also the media schools should, like Tecnia, should pitch in, and they should train responsible people who should make people responsible in their behavior in using social media platforms. They must know the aspects, and this can percolate down to general public. I am not advocating those stringent rules that many of the Gulf countries have, but in a democracy, it is important to be very responsible also when we are using social media platforms. And this is where, you see, this is how we can avoid infodemics and disinformation. It is not an easy task, but if we start at a school level, media school level, it can percolate down to society. And these are the challenges, some of the immediate challenges that we have to look at, because they can also affect international relations. The way of the way we have the youngsters and we have exposure now, international exposure, the way we are growing in the world and making friends, and we are not only making friends, sometimes we are making enemies also, because we are not matured enough to use the social media platform correctly. So this is one challenge that I think the media schools should be prepared to take up, to face and pick up and uh, take the responsibility of training at least the journalists about social media. And this is where certain things, again, two, three quick points, and then I will just wind up. The impact when we are talking of social media, you see, during the time of pandemic, we have already seen how it has impacted them and helped the marginalized section of society. It has played a very crucial role at international level. We immediately know about the problems, say the cyclone in Haiti, say the cyclones now in Madagascar and in India, and the labor problem and everything, the migrants problem and all these things. Immediately we come to know about it, and international, more and more international agencies, even agencies like the United Nations are coming forward and helping the people. And through social media, it is the news are getting so quickly disseminated. This is one part. Second, what we have seen during this pandemic, you see the role of the enhanced role of social media, the role played by it has been through for everyone to see. Everyone knows about it, the role it has played. The NGOs, how they have used social media to help each other, help the sections, help others. And these are very important steps for relationship build up, whether at national, domestic, or international level. And social media is going to grow. It is the future. We are in digital age. The more digitalized we become, the more the impact of social media will be there. But as Dr. Ritika already said, it should not be used to impress, but to create an impact in lives of everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was actually a very enlightening session. The way you explained about how social media is changing and the way it has become a source of information for the media houses as well, and the way also explained about the credibility issues on Twitter and YouTube, and how it has become a new source of information for all the media houses as well. Now I would like to invite questions. If anyone has any questions, please raise your question.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank you for such good discussion and wisdom of thoughts which you shared with us on social media. My question as an academician is, so do you think that since social media is everywhere, we all are using, we all are connecting, we all are reaching the world. So as an academician, as a researcher, do you think, as a communication researcher, do you think that a little bit of training, not a little bit, but actually a kind of training as to how to use social media and how to put your messages, types of, what form of communication, what type of communication you should be using, should be given not only to the academicians but to all, so that they can have a good way of communicating on screen or on media, on social media. This is first thing, sir. And second is that I know that trainings are going on. Some organizations, some worldly organizations have taken this step, and they are already training people that such, number of words should be there, such type of message by this time you should be posting. But do you think it is adequate, or we should have more efforts to train people and use social media effectively, so we could not have this problem of fake or misinformation or myths and all.
Thank you. Actually, partly I had already answered your question in my speech that some training has to be there. But in my speech I had touched upon training to journalists. It is a very valid point that you have raised. Training to academicians about using social media platform, and it is very important. Actually, training has to be there for everyone. I had just talked about let us begin at some point, and I had taken the example of media schools. But yes, it should be even at your level. If you are interacting, the biggest problem is to identify the right source on social media. This is the biggest challenge that we face, and people try to look at the sources, credible sources. That's why Google has become number one. People want information, but then what happens? People get misled, and when they get misled, they get into many traps, different type of misinformations. Misinformation is churned out to you. But as an academician, I think you are at a level which is the maturity level is much higher than a common person, and you can identify what is wrong, what is right, and but still people get misguided. I have found many people, very educated people, who often get misguided. And when we talk of fake content, they are presented as if they are the very right, they are the most credible sources. So here it is it becomes difficult even for professionals like us to identify. So training is really required, and I think this is where the educational institutions have to step in, and they have to think about it, and they have to devise courses for such training, how to don't get into the trap of misinformation, and how not to get into all these rubbish that is being churned out to you. And the best way is always go to the horse's mouth. Always go to the person who has said that. It takes some time. But the problem sometimes is that person may not be available on social media platforms. So at that time, also use direct communication and try to get facts, as much facts. So social media, it cannot be the 100% solution. You have to also be dependent on direct communication, the traditional way of communicating with others, and that will also help. And these are the things where I think our educators have to uh, uh, pay their attention.
Yes, definitely, sir. Thank you so much.
Sri Srivastava has a question. Srishti, please come up.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Deepak, sir, I had a question from you. Actually, you talked about the credibility of social medias like Twitter and Facebook. So I wanted more about Facebook and also the problem of credibility. Can you tell me more about it?
Do you have any specific question, or do you want me to speak generally about it? Can you just elaborate a little what you...
Sir, I just wanted to want you to speak generally about it. Basically, the credibility part of the social medias and the problem related with it.
Okay. When we talk of credibility, you see, everyone is using social media platform nowadays. Even a panwala will be using it, even a chai wala will be using it, even a professor will be using it, even a class 1 student will be using it, even a rickshaw puller is now using it. So everyone's level of exposure, the intellect level is different. Everyone has some specialization in his or her respective domain. I don't want to demean anyone, but the understanding level of everyone differs from each other. And that is where the problem lies. How you interpret an event, how you think that this is the most important thing. And this is where this is where which these are the things which snowball into major credibility issues. Sometimes, suppose I have a friend and I believe him blindly, and if that friend writes something, and I will take it as gospel truth and I will spread it, that person may be wrong. His perspective may be wrong. But since I believe that person, I am not going to question. I am spreading it. Maybe I am unknowingly spreading lies. I don't really know. So these are the things. The scope of such manipulations are very high in social media, and because everyone can use it, it is not like a journalism uh, house or a media house where the gatekeeping process is there, and where the news is actually uh, decided by a team. They discuss it. There is a very there are cross examinations and everything. So all these things are there. So when we talk of credibility, perhaps I don't want to blame people, because unknowingly they spread fake content. They sometimes knowing they become a victim of such propaganda. And if you remember, 2 days back, on 16th of February, all major newspapers wrote about in the West, American newspapers and British newspapers, the Sun, the Mirror. They wrote that, okay, today at this time Russia is going to attack Ukraine. This was the news there. And Russia and China, Russia of course did not attack then, and they got an opportunity to mock the media houses. Okay, this is the propaganda that you are doing, and these are the things. So propaganda is it is part and parcel of any information campaign. You are propagating things. So, but whether that is right type of propaganda or it is wrong type of propaganda. So here it is all about when you are able to smell certain things, what are the interests, who are the vested interests behind that. So this is all again, see, very important. As journalist students or journalist teachers, you must be able to know about these things. Is it okay? You wanted.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the answer. I'm satisfied with it. Thank you so much, sir.
There is one more question from Radhika Bhattacharya. Radhika, please come up with your question. Sir, she might be asking about the barriers we can put on this. We can put over the social media just to control the flow of information, which might affect the international relations.
Okay, so I think you remember how our Honorable Minister for Information and Broadcasting and Law Minister, his Twitter handle was blocked by Twitter for certain things. Today, again, something is happening. I mean, 2 days back, someone's Twitter handle was blocked. And these things, they are doing self-policing, and this is not actually advisable, and people have actually condemned it. They are saying this is out of political vendetta or some political interest, some vested interest is there. So these type of barriers, of course, I will never advocate. The barrier has to be, you see, there has to be self-restraint. There is an urge to disseminate things, whatever you get. You get that type of feeling, oh, immediately I should rush and I should inform this without cross-checking the facts. The first barrier should be you must I won't say it is a barrier. It should be that you must cross-check before you rush to the social media platform to inform others. So this is one thing that one has to learn. This should be learned. Cross-checking is not a very easy task. Actually, to cross-check facts, you sometimes you also step into difficulties. Suppose someone has committed a murder, you won't be going to that person to ask whether you have committed the murder or not. He will kill you if he has really committed the murder. So how to get it, how to approach the different sources and credible sources to get the things cross-checked. So this is a skill that I think one should learn. And there should be some. I strongly recommend subject like this on social media credibility, which should be introduced at a school level or college level, and where you try to understand these nuances and how to cross check the facts for the sake of credibility of what you are posting. This is one part. Second is your own maturity level. Your own maturity level, because I must assume that since you are a media educator or you are a media student, your level of maturity must be much more higher. Your level, because your level of exposure, your level of reasoning, your analytical power must be much ahead of a common person, and who is maybe an undergraduate or maybe just an illiterate. So it is much higher than you. So the educated person should take the responsibility themselves upon themselves to ensure that they are churning out credible things on their platforms, and that helps them also. That helps their building up their own reputation also as a responsible citizen. So this responsible citizenship, one must learn about how to be a responsible citizen and use social media, keeping that in mind. That is very important. So I don't think censorship will help. Censorship has never helped anywhere. Everything is freely available now on web. So it is upon individuals to take it up, and there should be training on this. And this is something that should be part of the curriculum, and how to help people cross-check the facts and dish out responsible things on social media platforms.
That's a great answer you have been given by Deepak sir. Deepak sir, I am simply adding something to it. Radhika, in recent past, India has banned many YouTube channels of Pakistan. So it not only depends upon the country who disseminates, but the recipient also need to. But overall, in one go, any rules regulation for the barrier will not work. Will not work. You know, China has imposed almost all the social media for its public. So that again, China is not enjoying the very good relation with any of its neighbor. So it all depends upon that how, for your interest, in the interest of the country, which part and where, what you want to ban. So that might be the strategic decision. But overall, any norms and regulation for it will not work. Thank you.
Very valid point, sir. Thank you very much for.
Mariam, I do have a question for, if you please enlighten me
That's
about
all.
that. Uh, okay, the way everyone is having their own devices, so it is not difficult for them to access through the social media and get views about different countries. So it somehow contributes in the political polarization, because people see the trends and they form their own opinions and they participate in the trends, and somehow I believe that they do not go for the credibility check or fact check or reality check, and they just see something, they read something and they believe in that. So that such things somehow create a polarization, political polarization. So how does that affect international relations?
Uh, Here, no, I am thinking that uh, my I did my own PhD on political communication, and we
Mhm.
already know about this uh, power that can come from the uh, people, to the society. But I am thinking another common people can do, especially with culture, when they are working into the cultural sections or educational sections. Because nowadays I'm teaching here in Iran, and I'm seeing that even the common people who is very open-minded, who is living in a very big city, who is living in a very good situation in economy and sociological aspect, he or she is not even thinking. It didn't come to his mind that okay, let me know that, for example, how's the Indian system of education, how others are living, how others are studying, how can I use more and gain more from social media. They are, for example, master students. They are in their 40s of their own, or 30s, 20s. They have the background of the social work, and they have the bachelor degree in engineering. They are very clever, very present minds, very full confidence, but it is not their priority to come to the international world. This is what I'm concerning. Yes, politics can help us. Politicians can make the strategies and policies guiding us using the social media and mass media to give us this chance of thinking that we need to uh, think big and internationally. But I guess, for example, at least about Iran, they have some other problems, some other issues, some other priorities in their life that even they are not thinking that, okay, and of course, not all of them. You know, I'm speaking about 83 million population that at least 10 million of them living in across the world, especially first of all in America, then in India. In India, they are used to be from 400, 500 years back till now. We are still coming to India for business and studying. But I'm speaking about a very common middle class, majority vast who always used to be in Iran and always studying and living in Iran and still is in Iran. Even though nowadays, if family has one person, at least in their own close relative, that is already out of the Iran, especially in Europe and Canada, but I don't think so. For example, when they are speaking with each other, also asking that, okay, what is happening in Canada? Okay, this is what I'm concerning. We have to ask them that, okay, weather is cold, that much, okay. And Canada is far away. Okay, thank you. But I am, for example, I'm the student here, for example, in Iran. I should just think that, okay, if I wanted to do the master in Canada, what was the difference? And if I'm as a foreigner living in another country, how they will act with me, behave with me, and how I can improve them, they can improve me. You know, I hope that I can speak in your direction. What is your concern? If I'm wrong, please correct me. But this is how much I can understand by using the international social media for the international purpose. Is it the same question you had?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
You
Actually, it is
absolutely
also.
answered really well. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
I'm quite
Actually, it is
satisfied
my
with the answer. Thank you so much, ma'am.
my pleasure. Thank you so much. But I had chance, same as Mr. Deepak, to visiting the department in person 2 years back. And exactly after I visited Delhi, I went to Jaipur and Mysore because Mysore is my home. And then, as soon as I came back to Iran, the COVID case started to be announced internationally. And from that time, I missed coming to India really, and I always welcoming you to come to Iran. But I can remember that I had chance to have the international, as a keynote speaker in your international conference there, and I enjoyed. You know what? That time also I had cold very badly with the infection, and I'm thinking maybe it was corona. And now also I'm affected by Omicron, and it is
Right.
all going to be.
So we wish you
Sorry
a
for this
very
word.
speedy and really next time when you are in India, definitely if you are in Delhi, we will meet. We should meet.
Sure,
And
sure,
I have
my
many Iranian friends, and in fact, we organized a special your Iranian movies on disabilities. Oh, terrific movies you make! Actually, Iran, the movies, the type of movie films that you make, they are outstanding films. They need to
yeah,
be
exactly.
they need to be shown on social media more often, so that people know and
Yeah,
understand culture and they understand your country well. Beautiful movies with so much human sentiments. Your no doubt you have so many Oscar winners there. Your Shahab Hassani,
yeah, exactly.
who came
I
to
am
us, yeah,
going
he was
to ask
twice. He
you
won Oscar twice.
exactly. I'm going to invite you, please stay in touch. And because, the film concept of cinema, I'm not that much familiar, but I know people who are already working into the movies. They are going to the different festivals across the world for more than 20 years. And these people used to working in the institution or organization of broadcasting, the governmental organization of broadcasting here in Iran, and I mean Radio Television Institute of Iran. And then these people actually have more knowledge and more people to share with you for the different festival maybe you have. Because I know, I'm so sorry for taking the time. It is out of the concept of this conference, but I just wanted to tell you that Iranians are commonly, regularly coming to your country for different film festivals. I know that you people already know Abbas Kiarostami, Mohsen Mahmalbaf, and you are following their movies.
Yes.
And in the other hand, I wanted to tell you that Iran also each year has, it is more than 40 years that they have the international film festival called Fajr Festival, recently finished, and they have the section for international movies also. Maybe not that much great as, I mean, great by great, I mean wide and vast as Indian, but it can be a good start. We can just making it happen. I can help you in the international, affairs of that,
I'm
because
really
actually nowadays I'm doing the same. I'm helping Iranians for the into the international and intercultural communication. I'm doing kind of a facilitators, affairs with the foreigners, especially European, so we can do the same with India.
I'm really thankful to you and very for your very kind gesture. And I wish to share one thing on this platform that since we went there in 2015, we initiated one film festival there, and this year is its sixth year in Iran. That is called Parvaz International Film Festival on disability issues. It was inspired by us. So this is a great example of India-Iran friendship, how we keep inspiring each other, and we go about this thing. Thank you so much.
Of course, my pleasure always.
Okay, my point was, Dr. Medium, my point was very simple. That we from Tecnia also need your invitation.
Yeah, sure, why not? My pleasure, always welcome. Actually, an international.
Uh, and and this is a standing invitation
It's really my
to
pleasure. You may.
you both, honorable guests. Whenever you be over here in India and Delhi, especially, Dr. Mariam, you are invited. Mr. Deepak Parvatiyar, you are invited. It's a standing invitation to you both, honorable guests, to our
Thank you so much.
institute.
I'm sorry not actually having my voice, but I actually already in my first conversation I told you all welcome here for Iranian Movies Festival. You will enjoy. 2 weeks is holiday here in Iran, and
It,
Iranian.
it, it was simply kidding for my. It was simply when you were talking, you were talking with Deepak sir. It was simply kidding from my end. So I know it. We have your kind with us.
Actually, and the yesterday we had in Isfahan, Isfahan city, we are saying Isfahan is half of the world. And Isfahan already is same as Hyderabad in India. They have some
That's great.
collaboration also with
Yes,
Hyderabad.
yes, yes,
So
yes,
what I'm
yes.
trying to tell you is, I am working in Isfahan. Isfahan yesterday and the day before we happened. We used to actually finish it. It was an international conference on public relations. We had 3 guests from India, all professors and HODs. I invited them. It was my pleasure to have this valuable connection. And yes, of course, why not? It is my pleasure.
Madam,
We
now,
already done. We will
Madam,
do.
you will be on our invitee list regularly. We will keep in touch with you. Deepak sir, since last 20 years, you visited twice Tecnia. Now I think every time you will be invited for. That's great. And my special thanks to Dr. Gopal Thakur. Is the person behind all these linking you both to Tecnia. Thanks, Dr. Gopal Thakur.
I
Miss
feel very,
Ritika, carry on,
Thank you
please.
so much, sir.
I feel very honored, sir. Thank you so much.
And now I would like to invite Dr. Gopal Thakur to conclude the session with his fanatical comprehension and to sum up the session with the vote of thanks. The session has been possible with the constant supervision of him only. Thank you so much, Gopal sir, and please come up with your vote of thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Dean sir and Ritika ma'am. Thank you so much. And this was really very interactive and wonderful session. And knowledge is just like lamp. Whenever it is dark, you can light it, and there will be no more darkness. Respected sir and ma'am and students, I, Dr. Gopal Thakur, feel honored and privileged to get an opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this historic occasion. February 18, 2020 is indeed a very memorable day in this history of the Tecnia, when His Excellency is with us for the inauguration of international webinar. I, on behalf of Tecnia Institute of Advanced Study, entire fraternity of Tecnia profession and family, and on my deep regards and hearty thanks to our international expert, our guest, Dr. Mariam Waziri, and our national expert and guest, Mr. Deepak Parvardiyar, for gracing the event and sharing with us vision of international webinar on the impact of social media in international relations to match the best in the world. We grateful, encouraged by her or his gracious presence, and immensely benefited by inspiring and knowledgeable, valuable information about social media impact on international platform. Thanks a lot, respected Dr. Mariam ma'am and Mr. Deepak Parvatiyar sir. My special thanks to our executive chairman and our director, Dr. Ajay Kumar Rathore, for his encouragement, guidance, and providing a stimulating environment for such developments. My enormous respect to you, sir, and our extremely grateful to our Dean, Dr. M.N. Jha, for his support and to our guidance. Thank you so much, sir. I convey thanks to all distinguished participants. This reflects their commitment to the profession. Now, the most important, and my especially and hearty thanks to our team, coordinator, our students, and journalism and mass communication department, and all Tecnia staff for their support, dedication, teamwork, and untiring efforts to make this international webinar successful. And a special thanks to Ritika ma'am. And at the end, I would like to say, world cannot change. The way you start changing, the world will also change. I once again thank you all very much. Thank you so much, sir and ma'am, Dr. Mariam Waziri ma'am. Thank you so much.
My thanks to everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks to all the participants.
You will meet again sometime with the new United Nations SDGs next topic sometimes.
Sure, sir. Anytime. Yeah, we should do. Thank you so much.
I'm so sorry. Can I please just make one point, because I am very excited being among you, and I'm just thinking that I can remember when Gopal sir told about the changing. I just remembered that my supervisor, Professor Niranjan Vanali, who also used to be the advisor in cultural advisor in Tajikistan embassy, and I had the opportunity for 6 years. 6 years I was his student for PhD also. He was my guide. He always had and still has one picture from Gandhi in his on his table that is mentioning that gently you can change the world, and I like it. Thank
Rightly
you.
said. Thank you. Thank you once again.